we both collectively got what we call the MBA in home building from some of the nation's largest and most successful home building companies. Hi, I'm Josh Yates, born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas, fifth generation Texan.
I'm Nick Keano, born in Houston, Texas, and grew up in Wimberley, Texas.
I grew up playing soccer and tennis, but played every other sport growing up. Also, I've got to mention Baylor football, basketball, athletics, baseball, all that good stuff. We bleed green and gold at the Yates household.
My hobbies and interests are a lot of similarities to Josh. That's kind of what helps bring us together. I also really enjoy playing soccer. Grew up playing. I started when I was 4 years old and just, still go play today. However, we are now a little bit of rivals because my household, we bleed purple and black. My wife and I both went to TCU. My sister went there. She met her husband. So we're a big Horned Frog family and in the Keano household. So great when we have those rivals.
I was going to say the difference there is I played in 2 national championships for Baylor University.
That's true. You do have me there. I did not make it to that level.
Yeah.
I was intramural champion.
Yeah.
But that's about the highest I got in college.
I first got interested in home building in 2005 when my uncle said, you should try new home sales. Fast forward, spent 4 years on the sales force selling new homes. Fell in love with the home building side, went back to school to study construction management before I got an opportunity to go work with one of the nation's largest private home builders as a builder. And during that time was when I got the opportunity to meet this guy.
Josh came in kind of, a year after me or so. We're a little bit competitive, so we do like to joke. There was a brief window where Josh actually worked for me. So we were 2 of the 4 guys that helped run the Austin division, kind of overlapped doing that for about 4 or 5 years. And just jokingly talked about, man, well, this would be cool if you did this on your own. We could do this. We know the numbers, we know how to sell, we know how to develop, but it was kind of a pipe dream at that point and something you just talked about over beers.
And one thing led to another by, it's like the butterfly effect, all these little moments in time. And the man upstairs, provided the opportunity for us to start Southerly Homes, and fast forward to today, here we are. So how did we come up with the name Southerly Homes? I think we're both born and raised here in Texas, and always about yes sir, yes ma'am, and making other people feel comfortable and mutual respect. And some of it is because that's just what we like. So big front porches, big back porches, timeless designs and exteriors and interiors, and really just, trying to make our customers, feel at ease and treat them with the utmost respect. We thought, Southern hospitality was a great way, to do that, and then Southerly just kind of came out of all that.
Well, you actually picked Southerly early in the deal, and I was like, nah, that doesn't make it. That's weird. It's hard to say. It's still hard for me to say now. I don't know. I had this mouthful of a home building company that I was like, this is gonna be it. And I was trying to convince everyone, and then realized I was trying way too hard, and this was the natural choice. And it kind of read back through, and I'm like, well, what are we trying to do here? Well, we're, like Josh said, we're trying to create the Southern hospitality experience. I mean, we're all from here. We all grew up here. Obviously nailed it, because I know within our first 6 months of being in business, I remember I was at a doctor's office, and I was wearing my Southerly Homes hat. And the doctor walks in and he's like, oh my gosh, I see you guys everywhere. Like he's like, you own that company? Yeah. He's like, y'all are huge. And I think at that time we had like 4 homes going around the span of like 60 miles, and I'm like, well, I said, that's awesome that you would say that. Thank you very much. But I just told, it's like, okay, well, we did good on our branding, right? It's recognizable, and obviously now we're gotten much bigger than that.
One of my mentors, my first day, I said, can you give me some good advice? And he said, make original mistakes. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, human nature, we learn from our mistakes more than we do our successes. So we try to learn from watching other people's mistakes.
It's not all rainbows and butterflies by any means. And our plan was we don't want to take investor money. We had lots of people who wanted to invest in us because of our history and kind of our resumes, but we said we're not going to do that. You know, we want to bootstrap this thing, and so that was a challenge in itself. Was okay, how many hats can you wear, Josh? You know, how many can I wear?
We could sit here and talk about challenges for days probably, and you know, I think one of the ways, you know, that we overcome that is, you know, bringing people together and, okay, we have a challenge, we have an obstacle. What are our paths forward? You know, how do we attack this? And, you know, some of them is prioritizing challenges. Which ones do we go tackle first today?
But one of the biggest challenges for us and growing Southerly Homes was taking that leap on our two things, our first spec home and our first hire. You know, how are we going to hire that first team member? Who are we going to trust to do that?
It's whack-a-mole. It's what's coming next. And you know, without the people, without the team, without our customers, you know, to help work together and collaborate to figure out, is this a road bump? Is this a roadblock? Is this a showstopper?
How are we going to afford to do it? And then Josh will say, we can't afford not to. It's like, man, you're absolutely right. We got to do it. Let's take the leap. So we went into our first spec home, took the leap there, and then hired our first project manager on the team. You know, that challenge turned it into an opportunity super quick. And I think within those 90 days, we landed 3 or 4 new pretty big deals. Within 6 months of hiring that project manager and he helped get our spec home done faster than really Josh or I could have with everything else we were doing. You know, we were blessed. We found the perfect buyer for that home. We put it on the market in a down market, found a buyer within 30 days. They purchased it, closed it, moved in within a couple weeks after that, you know, and ecstatic customers. And none of that would have happened had we not turned that challenge into an opportunity.
I mean, we always tell customers the same thing. This is going to be the absolutely most difficult, hardest thing you will ever do. And it's generally, you know, homeowners, customers only get to do this once or twice in their entire life. So they're putting a tremendous amount of faith and confidence in us that we're going to be able to overcome these obstacles and these challenges. I can confidently say we've been a part of over 1,000, you know, real estate transactions or builds or remodels. Yeah.
And it's kind of comical. It's like, don't let anyone tell you that construction goes perfect. The day that it goes perfect all the way through and there are no challenges, we don't need home builders. You don't need us.
Yeah.
You can just buy it off of Amazon and the drone will drop it on your lot. We're trying to continuously learn. Josh serves on the board of the Home Builders Association here in Austin. Very involved with that and some of the classes that they do. I serve on the board of the Austin Infill Coalition, and we focus more on Central Austin building. And he and I both help lead and serve on committees, you know, on those. So in that, in our network, we talk to the other custom builders. We want to see what are they using, what's working, who's having problems with, you know, specific products that we should pull from our homes.
So, you know, if a customer comes to us with an architect, we can start, you know, having those conversations with clients about, you know, what are your visions for your home and how do you want it to live and how energy efficient do you want it to be and what sort of new technologies do you want. So if we get involved with the customer and the architect early, that's a great opportunity for us to be able to design a home as energy efficient, you know, as they want it to be.
There's some other really great builders that we collaborate with on a regular basis and kind of talk through what's happening with building science. Because really the term, when you're talking about all these different things on, you know, eco-friendly, but we want self-sustaining, but we want it to be affordable, and the term that brings all that together, it's building science.
And especially if, you know, the customer, it's their needs and wants, if that's important to them, then we can do it. And then with our, you know, business moving forward, we're going to be implementing more environmentally friendly homes with, I already mentioned the rainwater collection, solar ready if we're not going to go ahead and put solar panels on the homes, generator systems. So what happens in the next snowmageddon? What happens in the next snowpocalypse? You know, our customers can rest easy that we can actually design and build a home for you we plan for the worst, expect the best, but when the worst happens and the power goes off, you just walk outside and turn on your switch and your home is up and running again off of the grid.
So we have several projects we have that are under construction. We've got some that we've got in development right now, and that's what we're trying to keep in mind for them. It's like, okay, let's go with full 2x6 walls. Let's not do 2x4, and we're going to completely encapsulate that with spray foam. We're weighing the options for these clients on which solar panel system is going to be best for them. But solar panels aren't enough these days, right? We're giving the client options. He's going to have solar with battery backup, but should that ever run out, should we get into the 8, 9, 10 day time frame of clouds and snow, he is also going to have a dual fuel Generac system, so that he will have every option under the sun.
Yeah.
Nothing's really off the table these days.
Our job today is to put together the team of experts that can execute on what the customer's vision, and if they want it to be as environmentally friendly as possible, we have the teams and the trade partners and the vendors to help us do that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Just a quote that I'm sure we both learned when we first started in this business is, you ask people who are very successful, like, how do you become a great home builder? How do you get really good at this? How do I learn everything there is to learn about laying tile? How do I learn how to hang a door? And somebody much smarter than me one time said, the goal is not to know a whole lot about a few things. It's to be a successful home builder, a little bit about a lot of things. And in the years of doing this, I have learned that the part that's a lot of things, that just keeps growing, right?
Yeah, if you're thinking about building a home, remodeling a home, or just want to get together to talk about your dreams and visions for your next home, your family, check us out, southerlyhomes.com. We're on social media.